Hi there. I am Carla Leon, the CEO of Just Like Family Home Care, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to start a social enterprise. Just kidding. I'm going to actually tell you what not to do. So, a lot of times we think about what to do, but I'm flipping this around because it's just as important to know what not to do. A lot of individuals, nonprofits, charities, when they start a social enterprise, they're thinking, okay, here's the steps to do it. They never think about the practices that are actually limiting them. So what do I know about this? Well, over 10 years, now 15 years ago, I actually started my own telemarketing firm. I was doing sales and marketing consulting, and I realized that I could have a great retainer with my clients if I actually did their business to business sales in an ongoing way. And so I hired people in a telemarketing service that booked appointments for startups. Now, here's what I figured out is that hiring my B2B telemarketers in an urban center didn't make a lot of sense. I didn't need people to be in an office. They could actually work from home. So I started to go into rural areas, into northern Canada and Ontario. And then I also started to realize that I had many people applying to me who either had mobility concerns or didn't actually like leaving their homes for various reasons. And so I was able to hire people who are marginalized, or had various abilities in some way. And I created a social enterprise without even realizing that I had done it. And so I started with a solid business model, and then I was able to add impact. So lesson one, don't start with a losing business model. That is a very common thing that happens. In fact, these are the top failures of for-profit businesses. We find that there's a lot of social enterprise cafes. Well, guess what? Restaurants are one of the highest failing business models out there. Retail stores, direct sales, construction, insurance, don't start there. Start with the ones that are successful. Food trucks, translators, bookkeepers, apps, landscaping services. Start with something that already has a proven business model and then infuse as much good into it as possible. Lesson number two, don't rely on people just wanting to feel good about their purchases. That is not a sustainable competitive business advantage. Take cleaning supplies. So basically, 10 years ago, there was all of a sudden this environmental friendly cleaning supplies that came out. But when they entered the market, they actually started as a price premium. What they realized is actually it had to be the same price as other cleaning products. And only then would people actually buy it because it was environmentally friendly. But it couldn't actually be at a premium price. So people weren't going to buy it just because it was good. One of my favorite examples of this and understanding this is a catering company called Out of This World Cafe. And their executive director said once, people come because we make a difference. So maybe the first purchase is because you're a social enterprise, but they come back because our food is amazing. So the sustainable competitive advantage is not just because you're a social enterprise. Lesson number three, don't think that people owe you something. People are not going to refer to you just because you think that they owe you something. A really great example of this is actually my father. When I ran the telemarketing firm, he didn't refer any business to me. And then as I started to get new clients and I was doing a great job and he saw that my clients' sales were increasing, that's when he actually spoke to his best friend or one of his best friends who ran a consulting business with 40 locations. He said, my daughter's doing a telemarketing service. She's seen lots of success, and more importantly, her clients see success. And guess what? Almost overnight, I landed him as a client and was able to scale my business even more. But remember, even my father didn't refer to me because I'm his daughter. He referred to his friend because he thought I could help him. So people are referring others to help themselves, not to help you. Okay, so think about motivations when it comes to that. It's not just because of social enterprise will you actually get a referral. Okay, lesson number four, you can only be strategic when you aren't worried about the next check. So this is all about getting outside of the grant cycle. So if you're a nonprofit, if you're a charity, how do we actually ensure that you have revenue streams that go beyond that? And so in here, we actually look at the social finance continuum and show that on the bottom with donations and grants, that's when you're actually always just trying to see where your next paycheck's coming, always trying to play that rat race. What you want to be able to do is start creating this revenue stream that so you can move up, you have sustainability, and that actually allows you to be more strategic. That supports you in having better partnerships. sustainability, and then even more opportunities come your way. Instead of going from one lily pad to another, you now have created this beautiful flower. So lesson number 5, starting is hard, maybe just buy it. This is a great example here is Just Like Family Home Care. We didn't actually start Just Like Family Home Care from scratch. We actually bought it in 2021. And so it already had quite a few locations by the time that we bought it. And so then we were able to actually scale up to 41 locations here in 2024. But it's because we started already when it had 27 locations. So maybe you don't have to start everything from scratch. Maybe you could actually just buy something. And this is a social acquisition as a social enterprise is another way to look at things and creating even more impact quicker. Lesson number 6, you don't have to own everything. I think to me, this is the most important. We have a lot of founders, a lot of startups. I gave the example of a social acquisition. Well, guess what? We didn't do it by ourselves. We actually have 3 charities who own this business. And so it doesn't have to be just one. We can actually do this in partnerships. Then you have more champions. And that's an important principle of a social enterprise. And just a reminder, when we think about doing things collaboratively and together, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. So you can start your own social enterprise. Maybe you could buy one. It's important what to do, but it's just important to know what not to do. And thank you very much.